Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
All
Have a good
right.
one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. Thank you, guys. That was awesome. So how many of you guys were in here on any of my sessions yesterday? Maybe the first one? So just remember, just to recap, incredibly insecure, need audience feedback, will cry in the corner if you make me feel bad. I am threatening you. I have the microphone. That is life, okay? We're going to have some fun today. This is something that I'm really, really excited about. For about the past 12 months, I've really dove into to churn and churn reduction. And it's really interesting when you start to look at churn, because there's a couple of people that really pay attention to churn, or a couple of industry or specific industries. And one of them is SaaS companies, right? SaaS companies pay attention to churn. Subscription-based companies pay attention to churn. But what I found out is normal, just transactional sellers don't pay attention to churn because it's not traditional. But here's what I want you to think, and we're about to dive in, and I'm going to go fast because I'll tell you, I have a lot of slides, and my man Casey is going to have me off this stage with a hook if I go a minute over, right? You should have seen him get me up on stage. He is on it. So I'm going to go quick. But here's the thing that I want you to remember or think about as we're going through this. It doesn't matter if you're selling a recurring revenue product or if you're just attempting to get the sale that you've already made to stick. Churn is churn. Customer acquisition is a fixed cost. But how much you're able to monetize and the lifetime value of that customer is not. Churn matters for single transaction sellers. Churn matters for subscription-based sellers. Churn matters for SaaS companies. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, I was going to say, remember, feedback, insecurities. I will cry on stage. I've done it before, twice. All right, this whole conference is really focused on getting you more sales, right? Traffic and conversion. But what I want to focus on today in this presentation is I want to help you build a 90-day plan to actually keep more of the sales you're already making. Now, if we can keep more of what we're already making and you're getting some really, really cool strategies to make more, then you'll have more times two, right? Simple math. All right, thank you in the front. So our test plus the research we've done, and we've really focused heavily in the association management space. Association management has been in business a long time. They understand the recurring revenue. Even if it's annual, they understand what it means to have a customer stick. It says that the first 90 days after a purchase are absolutely critical. So that's where we started, crafting a 90-day plan to make sure that our sales are sticking, that our customers are becoming multi-buyers, and that our multi-buyers are becoming raving fans. Once someone's been in your program or has had your product, for the first 90 days, there's little that you can do to impact churn or stick. All right, that's your goal. Sprint to getting past that 90-day mark. So what we're going to do is focus on what you can do to get your buyers and members past that mark. Let's start with the first month, okay? Let's dive into the first month. The first 30 days. In month one, the focus is consumption, little victories, micro commitments, and social proof, right? You need your new customer to consume or at least understand how to consume your product or service. They need to get a little victory. We need to have them commit at least, or make at least one micro commitment to you and your brand and themselves. And then we have to show them social proof. At each stage, we have to encourage them to move to the next. So this is something that most people miss. Few products, with the exception of something you're going to go to the store and consume right then and there, let's say a Red Bull or a Starbucks, right? You receive the full experience and benefit of that product immediately upon purchase. But in most of the products that we're selling, there should be no expectation your customer is going to receive the full value of your product or service in the first 30 days, especially if you're shipping a physical product, right? If you're a service business, they may get started, but how many months is it going to take for them to actually receive the full benefit? So now you're starting to see why that 90 days is important. We have to show them micro benefits along the way. It's your job to get them positioned to receive the result, to give them hope, to show them what the future looks like, and then prove it. All right, think about that for a second. You sell someone something, especially if you're selling them into a continuity or subscription-based product or service. They have now committed to pay you money monthly into perpetuity, right? You've sold me. I believe that you can do what you say you can do, or your service does what you say it does. I'm going to start giving you money. How long before I actually realize that? How many months have I paid you? If it goes from nothing to 4 months in, I finally receive the full benefit, then you've got to keep me actively engaged and believing and hoping and seeing progress along the way. That's your job, not your customer's job. So let's break into the first 7 days. The first 7 days of a new customer, all right? And again, whether they've purchased a widget one time, or they've joined your subscription program, or they've signed up for your SaaS, it does not matter. The first 7 days, we are going to focus on onboarding, consumption, and getting your new customer a little victory. And I'm going to go into some examples of each and dive a little bit deeper into each of those. Now, in some cases, especially if you're shipping a product, you'll need to focus on a micro commitment first, but we'll talk about that in some specific examples in just a minute. So the first strategy in consumption, right? Consumption, and this is what I want you to understand before we dive into these 3 consumption strategies. The very first thing you need to do is understand that you may not have to teach your customer, or you may not have to walk them through consuming it right when they get it. You may need to teach them how to consume it before they get it. So in Survival Life, one of our best-selling products is the EverStrike Match Pro. Right, we have a free plus shipping offer. It's a great customer acquisition offer, but we have a pro version. Now it's a little bit more complicated. It's basically a Zippo, right? It's a survivalist Zippo, waterproof, all kinds of really great stuff, but it's confusing. It's confusing, and people immediately pay a lot of money for it and don't have a tangible thing that they receive. So we were getting a lot of returns. We were getting a lot of cancellations before the shipments could even go out the door. Right, I just paid for something, I think I'm gonna like it, but I don't know, buyer's remorse kicks in. I need my customer to start mentally seeing themselves using this. So what we tested a lot of things, and the thing that did the best was this walkthrough video. It's a simple video. We didn't even build a page for this. This was uploaded to Wistia, right? Uploaded to Wistia. We left the comments on. We email the person the day after they make the purchase with this video. And it's Joe, who's the face of Survival Life, walking through how to use the EverStrike Match Pro. Seems simple, right? Seems simple. Cut the cancellation rate down by almost a third. Teach them how to consume it even before they have it, all right? Teach them how to consume it. Now, here's a step, here's a resource if you guys have, if you have membership sites. If someone is consuming your product online, whether it's a membership site or a cloud-based software, WalkMe is a great resource. It'll walk you through professional step-by-step onboarding videos that you can create, and they will show on first login. So you can actually teach people when they log in how to consume. Think of it as a quick start for anyone who's logging in for the first time. We don't think our systems are complicated because we're too close. I know for Digital Marketer, in Digital Marketer Lab, we have so much content inside of Digital Marketer Lab, the number one reason for cancellation was I don't know where to start. Right? That's what started this whole journey on figuring out the churn problem. Our number one reason for cancellation was there's so much content, I have no idea where to start. So the first thing we did was we created a WalkMe video that went in and gave some rules. If this, then this. If this, then this. We saw that complaint go away. Absolutely go away, because we gave people both a tour of how to use what looked like this site that was full of content. We had 36 execution plans. We had years of office hours and what's working now recordings. We had all of our lead magnets and guides. So when you logged in, congratulations, you now have access to years of content. Good for you. I just gave you a tremendous amount of value, right? No, I didn't. I just confused the hell out of you. Right? I just confused the absolute hell out of you. I just gave you a trash bag full of nickels, and you're looking for one. All you care about is one thing. I just dropped a trash, thousands of them on you. Said, good luck. I did my job, thanks. Creating a video and saying, here's what you should do. Here's what to do first. Dramatically reduce that initial churn. See, what you'll see as we go through this is there is a pattern. For the first 30 days, what you're doing is you are buying the next 30 days. For the second 30 days, you're buying the next 30 days. So what do you need to do during that first 30-day period to make the sale again, even if it's on recurring transactions, even if there isn't another buying transaction? If the sale is keeping them from bringing it back to your store or putting it back in a box and mailing it back to you, what do you need to do? So if you'll search Vero, V-E-R-O, Evernote case study, I wanted to put this up here because I'm going to have to fly through it. The email walkthrough, I've never seen anyone do it better than Evernote, right? Never. And Evernote's application is fantastic. There's a walkthrough when you open their application, when you put their toolbar on or their extension on. But their email series is amazing. I think it's 7 emails and a full walkthrough. If you're going to do an email walkthrough for your product or service, this is the one to model. So just search Vero, Evernote, onboarding emails, and it has every single email there, all right? Strategy number 3, the one-on-one walkthrough. Now this is a little different. A test drive in this case, and this is a really cool example because I'm going to use Tesla and a couple other products throughout in the different phases to talk about the examples and how you should use them. So a test drive with Tesla. So Ryan Dice just got one of the, ludicrous speed Tesla things, which is terrifying, absolutely terrifying. I hate riding with him because he does this one thing. So during a Tesla test drive, they're already doing demos and walkthroughs. And the number one thing they did, he told me this story, I thought it was amazing, because they play through the entire buying cycle and through those first 90 days on this one thing that they do in the test drive. So he's driving around, right? And if you're test driving a new car, especially a car that is so dramatically different than anything you've driven before, you're obviously a little nervous. So the salesman says, hey, pull down this road over here. And it's a back road, little back road. It's the road that he takes everyone to, right? He says, come to a full stop. All right, now grab the wheel, both hands, right? Sit back and relax. You ready? All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to punch it. I mean, I want to hear your foot hit the floor, and we're going to do what's called a launch. All right, we're going to launch, and Ryan, okay, you ready? He said, yeah, I'm ready. He said, okay, go. And he kind of took off pretty fast. He said, no, stop, pull over again. I want to hear your foot hit the bottom of this car. Launch it. And when you do, it's like being in a roller coaster. It's terrifying, especially if you're a control freak and someone else has the power to do that whenever they want. But you know what? He was just onboarded. He experienced Tesla and that power, that roller coaster speed immediately. And we're going to talk about how this plays into the next phases as we move through. But this was a phase of onboarding before the sale even happened. You know why? Tesla's pretty plain inside, right? Ryan had an M6. It was a gorgeous car. Upgraded the inside, had a beautiful interior and all the bells and whistles. Tesla and the inside, it's like, yes, it's definitely a car. There's like a couple buttons and a big screen. So overcoming some of those things and getting someone to buy in and go, I get it. This is what it's about. This is what I'm a part of. Feel that speed and power, and it's environmentally friendly, and I can be cool to my friends, done. So if you can do a one-on-one walkthrough, great. Pre-sale, in some cases, it's great. Post-sale, it's even better now. We just signed up with a company to help throughput on our designs, right? Our designers were pretty busy with this little conference we have to do. You have to design all of these graphics every year. So we needed some throughput on design. We signed up with a company called Design Pickle. Fantastic onboarding. The first thing you do after signing up, they call you and do an onboarding call. Now for them, it was onboarding because what they're doing is saying, I care about your branding, I care about your ads. Okay, go ahead and submit me your logo. Go ahead and get me your branding guide. show me some ads that you like. They're getting me indoctrinated into them, and I'm now giving them stuff. We'll talk about that in just a minute. It's micro commitment. So these are kind of the 3 different types or ways that you need to be onboarding your people. Another one we have that I'll talk about a lot is this physical packet that we send out. This physical packet we send out to every Digital Marketer Lab member. We're rolling them out. We've been testing it and breaking some of these studies out to see if we send out a physical guide, if we send out a physical welcome kit, does it cut down on cancellation? Does it get people through that 90-day period with less churn? Initial results say yes, so we just ordered 30,000 of them, and we'll be sending them out not only to new lab members, but existing lab members starting next month. So once we get past this part, the whole goal of this initial phase is just to teach your customer how to consume. We're 7 days in. There's still no expectation that your customer has actually started to fully realize the benefit of your product or service. Now we have to get them a win, right? Now that they know how to use it, we have to quickly get them a win. They need a little victory. So let's talk about a little victory. For digital marketer, it's Digital Marketer Engage. How many lab members do we have here? All right, it's cool. You guys should be familiar with this. How many lab members do we have here that are not members of the Digital Marketer Engage Facebook group? Oh God, you're missing so much, so much. You should stop listening to me for a minute and join the Facebook group. It's that important. This group is the difference between members that stick and the members that don't. Looking at membership, this group, we have less than half of the members of Digital Marketer Lab are in this group. The ones that are in there have an average stick of twice as long. Why? Because they're actively engaged. They're getting feedback from not only the digital marketer team, the digital marketer staff, but also other lab members. Micro communities are being built inside of here. So for us, we know what we need to do to give someone a tiny victory is get them into Digital Marketer Engage. We need new members to register, and we need them to post, but more importantly, we need them to get a reply, because no one wants to be that one person on the dance floor by themselves, right? No one wants to be that person. It's incredibly emotional to post something and stand there and wait for people to validate you, and it doesn't happen. Instead of now further engaging, you retreat. You retreat. I'll never do that again. I posted, I put myself out there. No one responded. We need people to go out and put themselves out there, post, but we have to encourage that. You have to know, what is your digital marketer engage? What do you need people to do in your business to get a little victory out of the product or service that you're offering? Then the question is, how do you encourage it? This is how we decided to initially encourage it. We started with the new member welcome kit, right? Hello? Okay. Started with the new member welcome kit and a membership card. These will be going out in bulk next month, but we've been sending them out sporadically, and we started testing the copy in the email welcome. So this is a sizable packet. It's, 26 pages. There's a couple of important pages, and we'll break those down along the way. The card's just kind of cool. This is the big page, right? We're welcoming them and what to do next. The first thing with an empty checkbox next to it is join the Digital Marketer Engage mastermind group, say hello, and ask a question. Use the hashtag I'm new here. Very specific. Very, very, very specific. Why should I do that? So we can welcome you. That's it. Right? No big deal. The next page looks just like that. Use the hashtag I'm new here so we can welcome you. That's the theme. We know we want them in there. We know we need them to post and get a response. And when someone says, hey, this is my new friend so-and-so, welcome them. What does everybody in any social circle do? Hey, Richard, welcome. Digital Marketer Lab members are no different. When we've tested these, the I'm new here hashtag has the highest engagement by almost 3 times over the other posts. Other members are welcoming new members into the tribe. Come in, glad to have you. You're home. You're home. How powerful is that? So you have to answer this question in your business. What's the smallest thing you can get your customers to do to feel like they're making real progress? Ideally they are, but they at least need to feel like it. They need to see themselves moving forward from, I know how to use it, I put myself out there, I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a benefit, or I'm starting to see some benefit. You have to answer that if you're wanting to get them just through the first 7 days, feeling good and still committed to you and your product. Now you have to figure out how to encourage them to do it. In a lot of cases, it's as simple as telling them what to do, but you have to give them a reason. So here's an example I'm going to use throughout here as well. This is my favorite Christmas gift that I got. We bought one. It's also, for those of you with a big office and a big team, or even a small office and a small team, this is the highest ROI investment I've had on a piece of machinery in the office in years. I paid $2,000 for this cappuccino machine, this espresso machine for the office, to replace the little Keurig pods that we were spending probably $2,000 a month on, the nasty little pods. Love you, Keurig. It's okay, they're not a sponsor. Replaced it with this. Employees geeked out of their brains on really good coffee. So productive, so happy. I brought my wife to the office and said, hey, look at that. That's pretty cool, huh? It's an espresso machine. You can't have it. Come on. I love it. Now I get to drink it here 5 days a week, and I got to go home and drink like the regular stuff? No, I can't. You can't do that to me. And she said, how much is it? I said, $2,000. So you definitely can't have that. Fine. I'm not in charge. Well, luckily I've got really good friends and business partners, so for Christmas, they got me this. And it got me to thinking, right? Because he asked me, Ryan came up and asked me and said, so, have you gotten anything from us? In a really weird kind of passive-aggressive way. I was like, no, what? No, I thought we agreed no presents. And he said, no, we all decided to get you the espresso machine. And I thought it was kind of weird that maybe you haven't said, thank you. And I'm not a mean person. I would have definitely said thank you. I hadn't gotten it. He hadn't gotten any feedback at all about his purchase. Now, later, come to find out that he didn't actually make the purchase. He forgot to press submit. True story. But it started me thinking, what if I had bought that? What if I, as a consumer, had purchased something really big for a whole lot of money, and I've now received a whole nothing of value? Right? My wife would have said something like, what'd you spend $2,000 on? A coffee machine. And then every day it's not there, she's looking at me going, no $2,000, no coffee machine. So we're going to use this as an example as how a big box item could have gotten me excited, or you excited had you purchased it, through these different phases. All right, P90X. This is another one, P90X, right? When P90X onboards, when you sign up for P90X, they are one of the best at every phase of this. P90X, you get a special t-shirt if you finish. You sign up and they tell you exactly what to do. Go here and download your worksheets, micro commitment. Watch this video, micro commitment. Confirm you have all the necessary equipment and supplements, upsell. Read progress assessment. They're telling you, and this is important, they're telling you what success looks like. I'm going to do a micro assessment here. You're going to receive results here and here and here, and then you're going to choose your workout from P90X. If you do these things, you got a little victory. Why? Because you felt like you did something. You did. You chose. The little victory here, honestly, is choosing your workout plan. You can do P90X 4 different ways. I have now made a decision after reviewing all this in P90X, little victory, right? Little victory. There's also several micro commitments here. So now that they've started to see and feel the benefit, and really just see in this case, for P90X, I might have chosen a plan and I might have done the quick start workout, but I have started to see a benefit. I can do this. I chose a plan. I'm not just going to throw this thing in the drawer and skip my resolution this year. I can do it because I believe P90X works. I don't believe I'm going to be able to work out every day for 30 days, or every day, 30 minutes a day for 90 days. Little victories in most cases are more about having your customer believe in themselves than having your customer believe in you. They believe your product or service does what you say it does. In most cases, they even believe that it's done it successfully for other people. They just don't believe in themselves. That's it. They don't believe in themselves. You have to give them little victories, not to prove to them that you're real or your product's real or your service is real, but that they can do it, right? They can do it. So day 8, now that we've gotten them, they know how to use it, they've seen some little victory, we need them to make a micro commitment. Now we need to ask them to commit to us. So here's the question you have to answer. What tiny action can you encourage them to do mentally and sometimes publicly to commit and create an emotional connection to your brand? We need to start that connection. We need to start building that relational equity. We need to get them to give some because we've given some. Remember this? Here's the next important page. It's your secret sticker. There's a sticker in this. It's really cool. I now have them all over my house thanks to giving about 100 of them to my 2 daughters. My wife kind of only hates Digital Marketer's logo, but the painter loves it because he gets to paint over all the walls that the kids hid them on. Either way, secret sticker. Why is this important? Why is this a tiny victory? Well, here's the next page. This is the secret members-only sticker for Digital Marketer. You can obviously stick it wherever you wish. Please don't stick it on your walls, kids. You can stick it wherever you wish, but we suggest you place it on your laptop so fellow DMers can recognize one another at events, meetups, and even your favorite coffee shop. You put my logo on your computer, you just committed to me, right? You put my poster on your wall, you committed to me. You wear my logo in a shirt or a hat, you committed to me. Micro commitment. For Digital Marketer, that's our micro commitment. And this, what could the micro commitment be here? If I were this espresso company, I would send out an email, I would start a campaign, and where I would ask for commitments, where are you going to put it? It's not just a coffee machine, it's a thing of art. You just bought a $2,000 coffee machine. It's a thing of art. I'm asking you, where are you going to put it? I'm going to ask you to clear the spot. Clear the spot on the counter for the thing that you just gave me a lot of money for, that it's going to be a few weeks before you get. Go ahead and clear that spot. Why? Micro commitment. Every day I walk past that empty spot on my counter, I'm more excited about the day when I get to open up my espresso machine. It comes straight out of the box when it arrives. You know the number one reason that big box items are returned to stores? Because they're not taken out of the box. If that $2,000 espresso machine sat in my floor for 2 weeks, even though it was a gift, it's going back. But if I've cleared out a spot, if I've looked at that empty spot every day, I've now committed, I know I'm going to use this thing as soon as it gets there. When it gets there, I'm opening up the box, I'm pulling it out, and I'm making a cup of coffee. Make a public commitment. So last year we launched an initiative with Infusionsoft, Double Your Sales. Anybody go through the Double Your Sales training, free training, 6-week training? Rich Thurman. Everybody else, if you want to see a really cool training and some really cool public commitments, go to doubleyoursales.com and you can go through a free 6-week training class. It's a really cool class. One of the first things we do after they register is pop up this. It's a little pop-up using Gleam, which is an amazing piece of software. It allows social sharing, and it says, share this and tell people you're committing. And if they share this, it says, I'm committing to doubling my sales over the next 6 weeks. Now, where we got the thank you page pop-up was from the initial welcome email that I wrote, and we started seeing this everywhere. At the very end of the initial welcome email in the PS, it said extra credit activity. This is 100% about accountability and follow-through. I want you to stay on track and actually achieve your goal of doubling your sales. One of the best ways I know to do that is to make a commitment publicly to achieving your goals. Put this goal on Facebook. Share weekly updates on Twitter. Keep a video diary on YouTube. If you're stuck, start by copying the declaration. It's not a pre-written tweet or Facebook update. It's a declaration. Copy the declaration below and post it on Facebook. I'm dedicating the next 6 weeks to doubling my business. If you see me screwing around, ask me how it's going, smiley face. Hashtag double your sales. We started seeing that everywhere, so now we put it on the thank you page because you had to read an aggressively long email before you saw this in the very bottom. This gets shared all over the place. People now have made a public declaration, and they've given their friends permission to where if it's like, oh, I went and saw this movie 3 times, the new Star Wars, what? How's that doubling your sales thing going? Whoops, I didn't do the last 2 modules. Public declaration and accountability. All right, so we're only through the first 2 weeks. We got to move quickly. I'm about to get yelled at. Social proof is what we're focusing on day 15 to 30. This one is easy. Show them testimonials. Show them success stories of people just like them or worse off than them who have had success. We have to paint a picture of the future. This is you if you stay on track. Remember, first 30 days, we're not having any expectation that they have received the full benefit of your product or service. We're just having to walk them down the continuum to keep them committed. If you're how many machine users, machine owners? Okay, Machine is Digital Marketer's flagship email training and template pack. There are 36 done-for-you email campaigns in there. One of them is the Join Me in Congratulating campaign. It's an email that's sent out to members or other product owners when you get a testimonial or success story from an existing member. Now, if you send this out and say, join me in congratulating, it's both social proof and it's starting to train them that you reward stories. You reward testimonials. If someone sees you sharing someone else's testimonial, then you're planting a seed that, hey, maybe one day, if you give me a story, I'll share it as well. Rich Thurman, right here, when we initially launched the machine, submitted an amazing case study along with several other people, Graham English, Amy Jo, too many to list, right? We shared his case study with members during a launch. One of the things we added in there was, if you are so Rich doubled sales at his store at the time. We shared a story, said if you're in the Facebook group, stop by, tag Rich, and congratulate him. Did that work? Did you get people going in there? He had people calling his physical store, other owners of the same product he owned. When you can connect social proof with a real person, hey, he's right here, he's just like you, he's in the members area you're in, it works. So here's the email. I don't have time to read through it, but basically you're sending out testimonials. Join me in congratulating. The subject line is what's important. Join me in congratulating. I'm going to leave this here so everyone can take quick pictures. All right, 3, 2, 1. Pew! Sorry. If you have an online community like I just mentioned, tell members to go congratulate the other members that you just shared their success story. It works. It works so much to not only celebritize the member that's in there, it shows the member that's reading it that it's a true testimonial. All right, it's a true testimonial, and you're starting to seed the fact that, hey, if you participate in a feedback loop with me, you share your success stories, I will reward you by sharing them and glorifying and celebritizing you. So do this once or twice in the first 30 days. If you want to show them that it's working for others, but you have to be careful not to make them feel bad. That's such a fine line. If you're just case study, case study, case study, case study, and it's working for him, and he lost 30 pounds, and he lost 30 pounds, and he lost 30 pounds, and you're going, well, I didn't lose 30 pounds. Must be me. It's not going to work for me. I'm going to send it back. Okay, you have to be careful not to overplay these because you can flip that. We're trying to show them the future and keep them on track, not make them feel bad because they're not there yet. So the question you have to ask yourself, what can you do in the first week to get your new customer to make a minor commitment or experience a little victory? If you can engineer your onboarding process to ensure this happens, you've bought yourself the first 30 days. Good news, we're to the second 30 days. All right. In month 2, the focus is on delivering a measurable result. We got them. They know how to use it. They've been onboarded. They have a tiny victory. They've made a micro commitment. They've seen social proof it works for other people. Now, that bought us a month. Now we have to get them a measurable result. Our goal by the end of this month is to ensure that they would feel foolish by canceling or returning, because their life wouldn't be the same without it. If they don't have you or your product or your service in their life, they feel foolish. But you have to determine what that measurable result is. You, not them, you have to determine. The first step in the second month, the first thing you have to do is define the ROI. Right? What is that measurable result? What is that ROI they need to experience? Determine what equals a positive ROI for your clients. It could be a literal positive ROI. For digital marketer, we have the benefit of seeing literal positive ROI. We help businesses double. I need them to start to move the needle in the first or in the second 30 days. I need them to see more leads, more sales, more engagement, whatever it is. I need them to see a literal positive result. But what if it's not a literal positive ROI? How do you get them to not only achieve it, but know that they've achieved it? Does that make sense? Let's go back to the espresso machine. This isn't about coffee. I'll tell you, it's not about coffee. The coffee is fantastic. But you know how many $5 cups of Starbucks I have to buy to ROI? If we're saying straight ROI, a $2,000 coffee machine? A lot. Starbucks is close to everyone. This is about status. It's about someone else experiencing an exceptional cup of coffee that you made. I made a cup of coffee for someone at my house, and they said, oh my gosh, this tastes like I just went to a coffee shop. Not Starbucks, but like one of the real ones, a real kind of standalone barista. You know, I'm in Europe right now drinking an espresso. This is fantastic. That's my ROI. Someone else just told me I made a positive, or I made the right decision, because it's about status. Listen, I'm vain. I'll stand here and admit it. I want someone to go, oh my gosh, is that your coffee machine? I'm like, yeah, it is. It makes good coffee. Maybe I'll make you one day, right? I don't need to know it's good coffee. Now, I can't drink that first cup of coffee and go, oh my gosh, this tastes terrible. If I drink that and say, oh, awful coffee, then it doesn't matter. I don't need anyone else to tell me I'm smart. I just felt stupid, and now I'm going to return it. I need my significant other. I need a house guest. I need a dinner guest to go, that's great coffee. So the positive ROI for me is I can allow someone else to experience a fantastic cup of coffee that I made. If I take the perfect cappuccino to my wife in bed in the morning, and I see her smile and validate my decision, especially if she was against it at first, even if we didn't pay for it, she'll never let me get rid of that machine. I'll never let it go. I made my wife smile. Think about that for a second. I made my wife smile. Positive ROI on a coffee machine? Yes. Determine their ROI. It's not always you made a good cup of coffee. Great, I did that with a Keurig. A long time ago, I did it with a drip cup of coffee that I had put a filter in and all kinds of stuff that my kids will never experience. Not because I have this, they can't touch that. They'll have a Keurig. The name of that machine is Don't Touch That. Okay, so that is the ROI, right? That is the ROI. That's figuring out what the ROI is, if it's indirect or direct, and now we have to say, how can you engineer it? How do you engineer that ROI for your company? You have to be proactive. It has to be step by step. You have to tell them. What kind of quick start program can you have them do? What can you ask these people to do? Now meet Drew. How many people here know Drew Canoli? Very attractive man. Very attractive man. Good friend of mine. First time I met Drew, he was doing high-end transformations, physical transformations where he would come out and change people's diet. He'd come to your house. He'd throw away your food. Terrible thing to do. He'd throw away your food. He'd put you on a meal plan. He'd work with you to start getting you in shape. And Drew is like a male model Adonis. So you're like, oh, I guess I got to listen to you. But it's expensive. He's flying out and he's asking you to do things that are uncomfortable. You know what the very first thing Drew had anyone do? It was a juice cleanse. It's about a 4-day juice cleanse. You know why? Because 2 things happened at the end of 4 days. 1, I know I can commit to something. 2, I didn't work out, but I just saw results. I saw a positive ROI. I feel better. I've lost a couple of inches. I've committed. You know what I did next? You know what every one of Drew's clients, or most of Drew's clients, did next? Whatever he said. Didn't matter. 1, he's gorgeous. 2, he just got you a result and proved that you could do something. Now you will listen to him. What can you get a result? What result can you give your customers immediately, no matter how small, that they can say, positive ROI, got it, now I'll listen to anything you tell me. So if it's the coffee machine, all right, it's an espresso machine, once you've made the perfect cup, now share the perfect cup. That's what I'd say. Right? Share the perfect cup. I would go through and start to engineer the process that I just said. You need to make this cup. You need to wake up in the morning before your husband or wife. You need to go over. You need to do this and this and this. You need to put it on this tray. Put it in a flower if it's for your wife. Take it in. Wake her up and say, here you go, honey, I made you a cappuccino. It's very specific. If I did that, they had me do that, my wife wakes up and assuming she tastes it and doesn't go, oh my God, what'd you do to this? If she smiles, I win. They engineered it, right? They engineered it. So what is the ROI? How can you engineer the ROI? And now one of the most important things, how do they report the ROI? But in a sense, we're already teaching this. Remember the join me in congratulating email? If you're sending those out in the first 30 days, not only are you checking the social proof box, you're also teaching them that they need to share their story. Join me in congratulating. Right? Join me in congratulating. If you send this, you're teaching your customers that when they tell their story, when they report their success, you publicly acknowledge and celebritize them. We're teaching the reporting process passively by checking boxes in the first 30 days. But how do we get them to do it actively? How do we get our customers to actively report their success? In some cases, we first need them to acknowledge their success. Right? Does that make sense? If I don't know that I should be happy and that I've just succeeded with my coffee machine because I took a cup of coffee to my wife and it was the best cup of coffee she ever made and I made it, when that happens, if I don't acknowledge that that was success, that was an ROI, then it's meaningless. You can be happy all you want. If you don't tell me that I should be happy when that happens, I don't move forward. I don't know. Great, yeah, once I took my wife a cup of coffee. She kind of liked it, but it's $2,000. That's a lot of money. I got other stuff I could do with that. I'm going to put it back in the box, send it back. First, encourage bragging. Right? Encourage bragging, especially if you have communities. If you have community built into whatever you sell, encourage bragging in the community. For us at Digital Marketer, we're building that in right now. How can we encourage bragging? How can we predetermine milestones and tell people when this happens, say this? Because just like the hashtag I'm new here, when we do that, the community will come in and positively support them. Give them the courage to make the next step. Share this on social. Hashtags work. Hashtags work especially if you own community. Hashtags work to people that know you. This cup of coffee, so think about Gary's talk yesterday, right? I would focus on Instagram if I were them. I would be hitting me with Instagram pics as a new buyer of the perfect cup of coffee. I'd be sharing other users' stories and pictures of the perfect cup of coffee, maybe the cappuccino that has the little tree in it. Everyone ever had one of those in the foam where they do the barista does the thing and it looks like there's a tree? I'm the only one. Tree, heart, all these other things. I'm sharing these pictures, right? On Instagram, I'm showing and training me how to do that. And then I'm going to say, once you do this, take a picture, post it to our Instagram with the hashtag share the perfect cup. Hopefully this or any cappuccino or espresso machine company's watching, because I'm telling you, as I thought this process went horribly awry, but it really just turned out that the founder of Digital Marketer did not press the submit button on a digital order form. I came up with some really good stuff to sell and encourage consumption of a high-end cappuccino machine. So instruct, be specific. That's going to give them the confidence to actually do it. Think about what little thing I just said. Make the tree in the cappuccino. What if I screw that up? Then is the whole coffee going to suck? Probably not, but I'm going to feel stupid. You got to walk me through and give me courage to actually try that, and then tell me once it's a success what I should do. Because if I share success publicly, you know definitively I've acknowledged internally that it's a success. All right, so now we've gotten through, if you do those things, you've now bought the second 30 days, or the third 30 days. Third 30 days, this month we're focusing on encouraging advocacy for your brand. They need to start transitioning into really engaging with your brand. It's time for them to start saying nice things about your brand. It's time for them to start coming to the defense of your brand. And in many ways, you've been teaching this indirectly, but now we need to specifically ask them. All right? If we've gone through all of these things, think of the stuff that we've had these people do, right? They've connected with us in some way after a purchase, which we're really putting ourselves out there when we give someone else our credit card. Everyone, we are so passive about that because we all sell stuff online. Most of us probably don't think about giving our credit card to anyone else. But for a lot of people, like my mom, that is a huge deal, right? How many of you sell to my mom? Probably a lot of you, right? How many people is it a huge deal? How are they stepping out and really making themselves feel vulnerable initially by making that purchase? And then we're teaching them how to use it, and we're showing them success, and we're giving them small victories. We're helping them believe in themselves. We're moving them through a process to consume our product. We're building up some real relational collateral here. 3 months in, it's now appropriate to start cashing in on some of that, starting to make some withdrawals and say, here's what I want you to do. Let's go back to the Tesla for a second, because I think this is an interesting, and really, I told the beginning story, because one, it's funny, but two, it really makes sense here. So, I'm a salesman. I taught you how to launch and just make your friends urinate in their pants, because you're a mean person, Ryan Dice. I've taught you how to do this, right? If the sale goes through, you buy a Tesla, I know you bought a Tesla, I'm going to set an alarm or a tickler file for about 7 days. 7 days after you purchase, and I know you've had delivery, and it's going to say, have you launched anyone yet? We have a thing now, right? I did it, you feel good, we high-fived, it was great. We had a moment, right? We just became best friends. Have you launched anyone yet? One, you're going to engage with that. Then, if you say yes, I'm going to say, hey, next time, have them record it. Then post it to social media, hashtag launched, hashtag Tesla, hashtag look at this face. Because I'll tell you, I've made some stupid faces. I won't ride with Ryan to lunch anymore. He's a meanie about launching, and I hate it. But I've made some stupid faces, especially the first time. If I'm now engaging, if this is a campaign to Tesla owners, what do you think is going to happen to YouTube? What do you think is going to happen to Facebook? It's going to be loaded with these videos. People are going to start to experience the launch, which is the thing that starts the true buying process before they've ever walked into a Tesla dealer or scheduled a test drive. The buyer becomes the advocate. They're sharing the experience that they had in the buying process because now they're in the club. They know what launching is. They're tricking their friends. They're posting it to social media. This is now turning them into a brand evangelist. It's turning them into an advocate. It's turning them into a promoter. It's almost impossible for someone to cancel or return your product or service after they've sold all their friends on why they should join or buy. Think about that for a second. You don't go out and say, hey, I think of P90X, right? And before I finish that thought, let me go back to P90X. So here's another thing that P90X does. Along the entire way, after you've opened the box in P90X, they have you go ahead and take your before pictures. What are they going to have you do with those at the end? It's a before and after picture. Take your before pictures because I need you to know when you've seen progress. Oh, I'm engineering the ROI. I may not see it, I may not feel it, but if I look at a picture of me a week ago or 2 weeks ago and I look at my new one, I may go, wow, I lost some weight. ROI. 2, at the end of the P90X program, if you submit those before and after pictures, if you submit a testimonial, you get a t-shirt that you can't buy. Also along the way, the fine folks at Beachbody tell you, hey, inevitably, as you start to get in shape, your friends are going to say things to you like, wow, you look great. What are you doing to lose weight? Now, hopefully you're going to say, well, I'm going through P90X and it's amazing. Wouldn't it be great if when that happened that you actually got money? They're turning people into affiliates. They're turning people into promoters and compensating them in the process by also future casting their success. When your friend looks at you and says, oh my gosh, you look great, what are you doing? Wouldn't you like to tell them, give them a product that you know that works, and make some money along the way? It's so brilliant. So brilliant. Now, if you've gone out and told all your friends and sold them on P90X, or think about it this way, if you've told all your friends and family to join DirecTV and they get $10 off their bill and you get $10 off yours, won't you feel foolish when they call you and say, hey, I'm not getting that $10 off my bill anymore? Are you still getting yours? Oh, well, the service kind of sucked, so I decided to cancel. Really? You just had me sign up. I'm in a 12-month contract. Why do you think DirecTV has $10 off their bill, $10 off your bill? It gets you to do it, but you don't refer someone and they know that they stop getting their $10 if you cancel. So it's almost impossible for someone to cancel after they've sold all their friends on why you should join. This is the third step. You may not have to turn them into promoters, but they need to start saying nice things about your brand publicly. You can't expect them to do that. You have to encourage it. You have to tell them how to do it. You have to walk them through it step by step. So, just to recap, month 1, you're teaching consumption, you're delivering a little victory, you're getting micro commitments, and you're showing social proof. That is your job. I don't care what you sell. If you want it to stick, if you want them to become brand evangelists, if you want them to become promoters, if you want them to really trust you throughout the process, month 1, teach consumption, deliver a little victory, get a micro commitment or 2, show social proof. Month 2, it's your job to engineer and deliver a measurable result and tell them how to report it. And in month 3, to encourage advocacy. This is your 90-day plan. 0% churn is impossible. You're always going to lose some people for a variety of uncontrollable reasons. It happens. Please don't get your feelings hurt. Right? People will leave and or return whatever product or service you're selling, and it'll have nothing to do with you. But I'm confident if you implement these 3 phases and the steps outlined in each of them, you can cut your churn in half, because we did. And we're not even done rolling it out. Simple? Not really. It's really not. It's quite complex. But it's doable, and it makes sense if you think about it. And I put that slide in 2 colors. That's it. Thank you, guys.